Hey everybody, it's Ginger on Wheels here. Great job tuning into the most exciting video of the summer on this channel. Have you ever wondered what it's like to ride 33 Lime scooters at once? Well, here you go. This is the Fidico LightSpeed Knight electric scooter. It's got 10,000 watts of output power. It goes 65 miles per hour. You can see it's got LEDs all down the front here. It's got 13-inch pneumatic tires, LEDs all in the deck, a gold steering damper. This thing is just a crazy machine. So today I'm gonna roll the intro and we're gonna do a proper POV ride on the Fidico LightSpeed Knight. All right, here it is in all of its glory. First, I'm gonna boot it up and ride it to another location because we got leaf blower guys here. So we're gonna turn our key. That turns on our voltage readout, which is hard to read in the sun. We've got our standard QS S4 display that comes on the cheapest of cheap scooters and also the most expensive of the expensive. In case you're wondering, this thing is not sold in the US yet. There will be retail happening in the US soon on the Fidico website, and I think this thing is gonna MSRP for around $5,000, which is good news because that's down significantly from what I heard it was gonna be when I first had this thing. Okay, you can see now we're in speed mode 1. This is just chillin' mode. I think top speed is about 15 miles an hour. We're in eco, single, and in this mode, with our 45 amp hour 70 volt battery, we could probably squeeze about 150 or 175 miles of range out of this thing on one charge, which is pretty freaking sweet. Though in speed mode 3, in dual turbo mode, I'm guessing maybe like 20 miles of range. But the thing will go so fast. You can see I'm just casually keeping up with traffic right now. Like, this is no work at all because the scooter is so heavy and so big, the deck is so wide and the tires are so big around. It feels like I'm riding a blimp. It feels like I'm on a yacht, like a land yacht. I'm just like, the suspension is extra pillowy, so I'm just floating around. I know how heavy the scooter is from lifting it up and trying to haul it and lug it around. And so when it pulls me like a normal scooter does, it's extra impressive because I know how much power is behind that pole. All right, I'm in speed mode 1 with dual turbo mode on right now. It's like top speed about 27. Let's go along this bike trail. This parallels the freeway here. This is gonna be our little speed test. Hopefully there's no bikers in the way. Here we go. Top speed, Fidico LightSpeed Knight. I got 53 miles an hour, 58, 59, 60, 61. Oh, I'm slowing down. Oh God, wow. Ah. Okay. Whoa. Whoa, use these massive brakes to slow me down here. Holy smokes. I haven't gone that fast on a scooter in a long time, and that got me there pretty quick. Wow, 61 miles an hour on the display. It's hard to say how fast that is in real life. I don't have my phone on me. Jesus, that just feels too stupid fast. I hit that little bridge tie and the whole scooter just kind of went floating around. I don't have my steering damper tight enough. I can turn this thing, which I should have done, all the way to there, and that makes the steering extra tight. It's really hard to turn left and right now, so you don't get speed wobbles. Well, that was crazy. Should we try it again? I don't think there's any more obstacles in the way. Let's give it one more go, and I'll do a proper squat. The cars on the freeway to the left of me are going about 70 miles an hour. Can't breathe. They're going about 70 miles an hour. It's coming off. Emergency. Emergency. Oh wow, I gotta tighten my helmet. Emergency. You see my helmet? Wow, the wind caught the wind guard and blew the whole thing back. I gotta tighten this thing down. I should have brought my motorcycle helmet. All right, get away from all that freeway nonsense. Go up this hill here, which we can just stomp up on this thing. You can hear the front tire chirping. That's my speed. Accelerating up the hill, going about 40 miles an hour. Doesn't look like a lot of a hill to you because the super view on the GoPro makes it look kind of flat, but trust me, it's a big hill. So this scooter is massive, as you noticed. It weighs, I'm pretty sure it weighs over 200 pounds. It does not fold at all. It's wide, the deck is huge. It's pretty much the least portable electric scooter that you can possibly imagine. Like, it does not get any less portable than this. I ran out of range on a range test on this thing. I've got about 250 miles on it now. And my beautiful girlfriend came to pick me up on the Prius, and we couldn't actually get it in the Prius. So she came to pick me up for no reason, and I ended up having to walk this giant thing home. So this scooter is not for off-roading. The suspension is very, very bouncy, but the scooter's just way too darn heavy. It's got really wide street tires on it. There's pretty much no grip. It's not maneuverable at all. It's too big and clunky. I'll show you what it's like in these trails here. I've tried it before, but it's not fun. There are other scooters that are much more fun, like the Wolf or the V-Set, to ride around on this off-road stuff. So in case you're wondering, which I know you are, this thing has a sweet little horn. It's got headlights, which look rather cool. Let me show you these things. So there's like 4 big bulbous blue and white LEDs, and they look cool on the scooter, but unfortunately don't do a whole lot at night. There's just like this bluish splosh of light in front of the scooter. So I always recommend getting an auxiliary headlight, either hardwired or mount on. And I do have my PEV Firelight coming out soon. You can pre-order that at pevfirelight.com. It's actually on here on the top of the scooter right now. So I was using it last night. Super duper bright light, lasts a really long time, and can charge your peripherals, and is totally waterproof. So I guess you could do some light off-roading on this scooter if you're on just like a bark path like this. Even this is kind of hard work, but it's possible. Keep in mind though, you have almost no grip on the tires. They're street tires, so not great there. If you have to power up a hill like this, it's gonna spin out. The scooter is not that tall, but it's not very short either. I guess it's about as tall as the Dualtron X too. When I'm standing on the scooter, I'm about 6'1½", maybe close to 6'2" with the shoes. My arms are pretty close to straight. Bars are right at about waist height. Definitely 3 inches or so below belly button. You can see if you try to go to fold this thing, you have to take out that screw, that screw, that screw, that screw, and that screw, and then there's 5 on the other side too. And then this whole thing comes up and moves down like that. It's just, don't do it, not worth it. Very hard to get back into place too. Let me show you this brake light a little better. This light right here is always on when the scooter's on, and then you get a little brake light there. It's got little turn signal arrows, and that's our suspension piece. These tires, I can't communicate to you how freaking big these tires are. Let me just show you. So I'm a big guy. These are my hands, big hands. Those are the tires. They're like massive, actual like wheelbarrow tires or something. It says max load 220 pound, 50 PSI. The size is, what does it say here? 13 by 5 by 6.5. Huge. My initial thought was, since the tires are so big around, that we're gonna have a really, really fast scooter, right? Because it's gonna have the same RPMs, but the tires are bigger around, so we'll get more speed, right? But nope, it's actually just about as fast as all the other scooters in this class, because you really are just maxing out those 10,000 watts of power. That's what it is. So one of the things I do not like about this scooter is that the tires are actually so hard to balance, since they're so big around, that they're always kind of lumpy. There's like a slight vibration. I'm sure I could spend a couple of hours deflating and repositioning and reinflating the tires to rebalance them, but they're not seated properly on the rim, and I don't think they ever will be. I tried over and over, and they reseat themselves somehow when you inflate them. So it's really hard to seat the tires perfectly, and unless they're seated perfectly, there's a slight vibration in the scooter, which gets amplified the faster you go. And that's normal for most scooters. Honestly, most scooters have that. It's just that the tires are smaller, so it's not as pronounced. But with the bigger tires on this thing, you can really feel it. Around like 20 miles an hour or 30, when you're just sort of cruising, the scooter will just kind of be going blah, 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 blah. And when you get going faster and faster, obviously it's more like a vibration. But like I said, I could fix it if I were so inclined, but it's an hour-long job or so, and it doesn't bug me that much. It's really only actually dangerous if you're going like as fast as I was going across that bridge when we almost died, which I don't do often. What do you guys think about the stem design on this thing? It's got that weep head little bendy piece in the front, and then like the Cabo double stem design. So it's got, what is this, a quad stem? Pretty cool looking. All right, this is a 35-mile-an-hour road, but people pretty regularly go about 50 on it, so we'll just keep up with traffic, because it's not even a worry on this scooter at all. I'm at maybe quarter throttle right now, going about 36. Quite nice. It's also definitely worth noting that the scooter has sine wave controllers. So the motors are really quiet, the acceleration's really smooth. It's got a lot of off-the-line pickup if you need it, but it's still a little twitchy. A lot like some of the Namis and the Wolf GT. If you hit the throttle at the wrong time, it'll sort of jolt, surge. You can just feel the motors go chunk. One other thing I don't like about the scooter, along with how hard the tires are to get seated, is the fact that it didn't come with any Loctite on the bolts, which scares me. I had the lug nuts for the front wheel actually coming loose after about 100 miles, which is like the worst case catastrophic failure you can have if the tire comes off. So I was in contact with the factory, and I begged and pleaded them over and over and gave them examples of screws on the scooter that needed Loctite. And they said they're gonna try and do that in the production scooters, but no promises, obviously. Like 45, 50 is the sweet spot on this thing. Easy cruising. If you're looking for a car replacement and you've got, you know, $5 in your pocket burning a hole, I think this scooter is as close as you can get to a legitimate car replacement. Keep in mind though, it has very low-end Chinese like components, the throttle and the turbo eco buttons and the key mechanism and everything. They're not going to be waterproof. They're easily replaceable if they do break, but they probably will break more than once. So if you want high quality components on a high quality scooter, get a Nami or get a Ryon. If you just want an insane amount of power hooked to two really big giant motors, then get this scooter. Let's bomb down this hill. Oh, I adjusted my damper. My damper's all loose. It's okay, this truck's going too slow anyways. Or I'm going way too fast. One of the two. So easy to just go way too fast on this thing. The power is right at your fingertip, literally. Just a flick of a finger and you got 10,000 watts. So scooters that this thing competes with in the price and performance categories, let me get on the sidewalk here so I don't have to yell down the road. Definitely Nami. Cabo Wolf King GT Pro is gonna be up there. Bronco 11 Extreme. I forget the name of it, but whatever that quad motor scooter was that was in New York. Obviously like the Dualtron Storm and the Dualtron X2. Those are gonna be in this category. Yeah, that's about it. This is sort of the hyper scooter category where quality doesn't matter yet. It's more just about speed and performance. And this thing has got speed and performance pretty much on lockdown. If you're in it for just a really heavy boat that has like 1 billion horsepower, this is your scooter. But you're gonna need to, when you get it, I would completely almost take the thing apart and put Loctite on every screw. Make sure that you kind of rebuild the thing yourself to make sure that it's in functional working order before you take it up to speed, because I had 2 screws fall out of the stem on this thing just on like my first ride because they weren't even in tight. I'll show you. Yeah, right here. These 2 screws, these just fell out like on my first or second ride. And this is pretty much holding the freaking stem piece together. So you're gonna have to take all these screws out and Loctite them when you get the thing, and there are plenty. This reminds me a lot of the Weep Head where it's just covered in screws. Not the best design, you know. The fit and finish isn't great, but if you're willing to take the time and Loctite all the screws, then you'll have a nice solid quality machine here, I think. Man, just look at the bars on this thing. I guess that's another downside. Not a lot of space to mount stuff. This is all squared, and there isn't a lot of space to actually tighten things. So you have here, and you have here. And those are the only places you can put things like cell phone holder or aftermarket light. I love the suspension on the thing. I absolutely love the LED blue lights that go around the whole scooter at night. It looks really cool. The wide tires, it just feels like it's riding a pillow. Honestly, I said it in the beginning of the video and I'll say it again now, it feels like you're riding a yacht, but on land. It's just really massive and big and like calculated, slow, powerful movements on this scooter. It's not zippy, it's not very maneuverable, it's just a tank. It does have the get up if you need it, but even in the most powerful speed mode, you can't burn out the front tire like you can on other scooters. Largely due to the fact that the tires are so big around, they're harder to get spinning that fast, and the fact that the scooter is so heavy. But when you combine those two things, it's like just the right amount of force on the tire, and and right amount of power that you're not going to spin out. And you can take it in the road like this.
Alright everybody, that's all I have for this episode on the Fidico LightSpeed Knight electric scooter. Thanks for watching to the end. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and go head over to pevfirelight.com to check out the headlight I was telling you about. And again, I'll see you next time.